Hello, we are live. Welcome to another edition of Leaders Being Heard. Today we have an interesting topic, but before that, let's welcome our guests today, Christina and Andra. Hi, Andra. Hi, Christina. They're our permanent guests. Okay. So today's topic it's called How to Agree to Disagree. Right? So, what are we doing when we have a different opinion, or how do we react when somebody says something that we don't like or we don't see like that, right? So this is some one. It's a topic that we will debate today. I would admit we don't have the answers, so I don't have the answers, but we'll see together how are some ingredients, how are some steps, or what is something that we can do when we ended up in this situation, right? So first of all, is it important to agree with someone? It's kind of it's rhetorical.
Yeah, I think it's important to come to an agreement. Like, how do we get to that agreement? Or maybe we don't. I don't know. This is what we discussed today.
So, let's look at this. So, someone comes to us, or we are in a meeting, right? Or I think initially let's start with one-to-one, because I think in groups might be even more complicated. So if someone comes to us and express something that we don't agree with, right? Some has a different opinion than ours. What is something that we do in that moment? Is it like, how do you react, for example, Christina and Andra? What is something that you can see for yourself in that conversation?
Christina, you go first.
Yeah, I can go first. So I guess for everybody applies that when we hear something that we don't agree with, something raises, I don't know. We feel the need to come back and say our opinion, our statement. I think it's interesting. How do we place our opinion in comparison to the other person's statement? And do we just state it? What do we want to do with our opinion? Does it matter if I say something or not? What's my intention behind saying my different opinion? And I think it's a lot of space here on the tone, the voice, the mindset, the outcome that I'm chasing. And yeah, let's see where we get with this.
Got it. What about you, Andra?
If I look at what Christina said, it starts, yes, with the intention behind, like all the tone of voice and all your body and everything actually shows what's your intention behind. When you say your point of view, yes, I have a different point of view. It depends what's your intention behind. Do you want to be right? Do you want to have it your way? Or you have arguments, you want the outcome to be, let's make it work for both of us to agree to get to a solution. So it depends on your intention. That would be great to have always that intention. What happens is that we want to be right, or we need to be valued, or we need to be appreciated. It depends on the partner. Yeah. Sometimes, like it depends how you see that person. If I see that person, they don't listen or whatever, in the past, they once did not agree with me. Now I can say, I'm not saying anything. Like, I just say, okay. And I'm right about it. Yeah. They don't listen. So I'm not saying anything. And that is the way to react, to respond to it.
Yeah. So what I say is like, first of all, is looking, when you look at your reaction, is look what you want to achieve, right? What is the drive behind, as you said it, you want to be right, you want to be valuable. This is one dimension, right? You want to, I don't know, whatever is for you, right, out of that conversation. But then what I also heard and clicked with me is like, you also have a different way of looking at that person. If it's your friend, if it's your colleague, and if it's your boss, or it's if some annoying colleague, we don't have that ones, right? But it's different, right? And this is what comes to my mind is like, I tend to have people in boxes, right? I call them boxes, right? This person is annoying, this person does a great job. So if somebody comes and I have it in the box that it does a great job, the conversation goes in another manner, right? So, but are we present to this kind of aspects? Like, first of all, where I'm coming from, and second, what is this person, right? Who is this person? How am I looking to that person? Is it something that comes, or is something that we are present to?
It's rhetorical, yes. It's we are not aware. This happens automatically. If you stop and you reflect and you look, you might see it. Otherwise, it just comes. You don't know what's your intention behind. You don't know. You are right about that person. You can come with many reasons and situations to convince me that this person, it really is that way. And it's an attachment to be right about that. If it's somebody that you see as, oh, they listen, then you have the freedom to be yourself and to say. And you are right about that. You can convince me that that person listens. And I can tell you, it's like with the apple. I can tell you, well, that person does not listen, because from my point of view, that person doesn't. From your point of view, does. Like with the apple, here is perfect. Here is, both are true.
Okay, so how do you go from disagreement, right? So you look at that person. First of all, most of the time you are not present to this aspect, like what is that you are coming from, right? And how do you look at that person? They are there for you in the background, but you are not present to them. So how do you go further with the conversation in which you don't agree? What do you see? How do you do it? First of all, Christina, let's start with you. How do you go further?
I agree that I don't think many people are aware of their intention and where they place the statement, from which angle they place the statement. We just do it. We are in a conversation. We are running, and we just make the next step in the conversation. And I guess most of us would just state what we have, what is on our mind. I guess there are also people who would have something that is, they have an argument on a different opinion, and they would not state it just because of fear of conflict, or just because it's the manager in front of them and they say it wouldn't matter anyway, or I don't know, the conversation is in another direction. But I guess most of us would just go and say it, and then deal with the consequences. And whatever it is that we have different opinions, I guess we feel, or I understand how we go the more I go into the conversation. So I state my position, and then it's a conversation, it's a debate. It's an open point, and here I think I see like which way it goes. Do I stick roughly to my position, and I don't want to deviate at all? And this is the moment when we say that, okay, I agree, we disagree. I don't agree with your opinion. This is my opinion. And I guess the important question then is, and now what? I mean, okay, This is my opinion. That is your opinion. I respect your opinion. And then what do we do?
Got
And
it.
yeah.
I can answer the question.
All right, let's
What
see. Yeah.
So it can be what Christina said, the way I view it. It's either you can be like the horse that sees only in front and you don't accept anything in. Yes, you don't allow anything. If you are that kind of person or you deal with that kind of person, then it becomes a problem because they are not open. They can be this way. I'm the best. I know my job, so others cannot. Yeah, I decide. There is not much that you can do. You can just say like what doesn't work. Yeah, you can impact that. What I wanted to say, how is the conversation? The ideal one is that you deal with the concerns from it's both persons, both are open, like even if it's a team, they are all open to listen to what others are saying. And the intention is to choose the one that fits better. And in the moment that it's being chosen, it's to deal with the concerns of the others somehow to be enrolled in that, even though it wasn't their idea. It's clear what I'm saying? It's
yes,
like what we chose to say, okay, this is how we will do it. We make sure that everybody their concerns are dealt with. Yes. Okay. You had a different idea. We debated that. We saw it fits, but it doesn't fits 100%. The other one is better. Anything else, any other concerns? Yeah. So it's always dealing with the person so they are not left incomplete if their opinion, their perspective is not being chosen.
I see in what you are saying more is like around teams, right? When a group of people are deciding around something, there are different opinions, and then somehow they vote, let's put like this, right, for one option, right? And then the others are left with, oh, but my option was not chosen, right? And then you kind of go in conversation and try to well, let's see, for them to be complete with the fact that their option was not chosen, right? This is one thing.
Yes.
But
yeah, go ahead.
This is one thing. But how about when this is clear, right, in a way, but we'll come back to this. My question is when you are one-to-one, for example, when you are one-to-one and with someone that sees, like, as you put it, like a horse, right, is very inflexible, what you do then? With this person. It's for you, because I think Christina kind of stated there, like, yeah. So the question is for you, I would say, Andra.
So now we want to be right that the person is like this. We put that person in the box. I just realized that. Yeah, we don't know if they are like this, but this is how we see them. Yes, right. Like if it happens constantly. That they don't let you say something and they just dismiss it. You notice that they just dismiss it. And it happened a few times. Yes. This is something that needs to be dealt from another perspective. Yes. If I'm not the manager or something, like I can even say, look, you're not listening. It happened a few times. You're not listening to me. And this has an impact on me, on the team, on whatever. Yes. You need to share with that person what they are doing. Like, I also have an opinion. We are here to agree. We are not here for me to confirm what you say. And that depends on the power. If they have the last word on it, then what can you do? Yeah, you go on you go to their managers, to your manager, and you say the relationship doesn't work. We are here to agree, but actually, I don't have a say in it. Yeah. So, don't give up. Just go to where you think but not coming from I want to be listened. I'm small here and I want to be listened. Come from this is not working. What that person is it's choosing, it's impacting the team, it's impacting the performance of the project.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is now on the spot. This is what I see.
Okay, got it.
I can continue a bit. So when one person states an opinion strong enough that they don't want to accept, let's say, side ideas, complementary ideas, even opposing ideas, and just to discuss. And at the end of the meeting, we just end up like there are those two very different opinions. For example, it's a high risk taker and a low risk taker. Yeah, somebody is very cautious in an approach, and somebody is very willing to take risks. And it's difficult to mitigate this kind of, ideas. And I guess in this kind of conversation is really important for the people to want to listen to each other, as Andra says, to try to find a way in the middle. So, and this means that you find a third option. It means both persons will be in discomfort a bit, but at least they come to an agreement. But if none of them want to give way and to say, yes, I can listen to you and we can build together, or listen to my arguments, I think, yes, at the end of the day, we end up with a position of power from one of the persons, right? I mean, the most powerful person will win, if we call it like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, got it. I think it's so now let's come back to teams, right? Because in one-to-one we see this, but in teams, how do you, Andra, you want to add something?
Yeah, to the teams. You said earlier, like what I said, it's the perfect situation in which you listen. Yes, everybody votes, as you say, let's say in a meeting, and then we deal with what happens when we vote and we have a winner, the meeting stops. This is reality. Yeah, right? Yes, we agreed on something, bye-bye. This is what happens. And that part that I said that is being dealt with the concerns is not happening in reality. I just wanted to point out.
And what is, because this is, I wouldn't say this is my experience, right? But let us walk through how can you deal with people being on board, let's put it like this, because this is when you vote, right? You say like, oh, it's like in a way politics, right? You are with me or against me, right? And how do you transform against me and put all the people in the same boat, right? How do you let them complete and on board and willing to work with that opinion that was elected or chosen by the team? What do you see? How do you see for that?
I'm thinking if you are looking at me.
Okay. What do you think, Christina?
I'm also thinking it's a difficult question. It's difficult to place people between black and white, And yes, votes kind of, if I didn't vote, it means I don't agree. But I'm also thinking, one is, okay, if most of the people voted for one option, okay, then let's rediscuss it. Let's see if we can improve it. Is there anything else we can take from the other opinion that we can enhance this one? That's one thing. But with the other person that has not voted for the idea, do we always need to be our ideas to be voted? I mean, do we always need to be accepted? Isn't it also normal that I say something, you say something, and maybe I say something that is not quite fit, and we can go with your idea and to be okay? I mean, at some point, people to let go instead of saying, okay, I still don't agree with you. I still think your idea is stupid, and then we are blocked. I mean, it's, do I want to block the conversation, or do I want to make it work, taking into account, okay, the environment, the no solution is perfect, and all the things that just helps us move forward. So which is the position that I want to fight for? And I think this is very important also on how we deal with the teams and their opinions. Yeah, Andra, if you want to say something.
Yes, so first, I think Manolo would have been great today here. How the team aligns is, I think the team has already something in place. We vote, we assume this is what they do. We vote and we go with that. So this is the team, how it operates, is they agreed on this. This is how they make a choice. Then what you said is, I want to stick me as a person, part of the team. Am I sticking to my idea, or am I accepting? Now, when you do the vote, before that, you make sure that everybody is in the position to vote. Like all the ideas were discussed, and you are ready to vote. If you think why we are voting for the other opinions, you're not in that space to vote. You get what I mean? So you need to further discuss. Okay, sometimes you say, I let go. It's to be flexible. Sometimes you don't let go if you see that is what is needed. You say, I'm not complete. That is not complete. While we are voting for two, before you do the voting, not afterwards, hoping to win. That is what I mean. Before you have the options, you say, I want to discuss why do we have the three options. Yeah, I think that one is shit. Yeah. So it's a way of putting it. You need to discuss before that, so you are complete that all three options, let's say, are valid for you. This is how I see it in this moment. It's to be flexible when you fight for it, when you don't. Yeah, sometimes you say, okay, the other ones also fit. But here it comes, do I want to prove something? Is it that my opinion never it's being chosen? Do I want to prove something, or I want the best for what we choose? That's the conflict sometimes.
Yeah. So this is something
I have one
to look
example.
at. Go ahead.
I have one example that I have in mind is between what is just good enough and what is a comprehensive solution that is covers everything we know at the moment, or is open to cover also something that we don't know at the moment, you know? So it's a solution, which one to vote. They are kind of at opposing ends. And of course, they are both can be discussed and put on the table. And then when we come to vote, the person who strongly supported one idea and that was not voted, they will feel, I mean, how do you feel that? Do you feel betrayed? Do you feel that it's against the principle? Do you feel that, you know? When do you accept that also the other one is good? It's a good option. It's a fit option.
I think this is the team idea. It's always a conflict between you and a team.
And I would say here is more like it's always about the context, right? I mean, you either choose a perfect solution or either choose a less optimal solution, but you have a context like time frame, budget, I don't know, you have different constraints, right? So these are more or less in that context put, right? All of them. And then I think it's whatever solution you choose, right? I think what we were discussing is about how do you make the people that supported the other idea be on board with that, right? Like to say, to have a conversation, like, and my thinking is to let them say whatever they have to say, right? For that is, let's say, they don't see fit in that solution that was chosen, right? Like whatever is on their mind. And perhaps this might be, I don't know, might be something that alleviate the pains, right? Like it's no longer a pain.
It can be done during the meeting if there is time. If not, it can be like you as a facilitator or whatever. You can say, let's discuss the two of us. Yeah, so we have this. You want them to be enrolled and all on board, so they do it. So you have a separate conversation if it's the case, as you said. Okay, what do you need to say? Why do you think? Yes, and then you have the conversation about that. As you say, just talking about it might. So that person needs to be listened in that moment. If they are incomplete, they need to be listened, and you can listen to them separately if there isn't a time there.
Yeah. So one idea is very important for this conversation to happen in one way or another, to leave people listen, to have this feeling that they have been listened to, and you didn't decide without hearing what they have to say, right? Yeah.
I'm smiling because I have an example before we started the meeting today, and you did not listen to me. To have 1 minute. So yeah, it's important to align as a team.
Yeah. All right. So what else is there, right? So
I can bring something to continue. You listen to the person, right? You get out of the meeting, or even in the meeting, you listen to the person, and that person continues to stick to their opinion because, I don't know, because they don't come from a position. Yeah, exactly. They don't come from a position to find a common solution or a middle ground solution, but they, I don't know, I can't call them I mean with the horse, but they just really truly think that that is the correct opinion, and they can't let it go. They can't detach from that idea to the one that the team decided. And I think so, just listening to that person, I don't think it's enough. Then what? That's an open question.
Yeah, consider that there is something else missing in that one, right? Like that person acts in that way because there is probably, I would say, no relateness, right? Or something is missing in the relation between him and the team, right? Or between him and you. This is something that I see, right? It's like, because if you look at that person like a person that accepts or is very committed to doing the right things or something like this, perhaps the conversation is steered in another direction. So it's not that particular conversation, I would say, that needs to be analyzed. Yeah. But go ahead, Andra.
Yeah. What they need is not only to be listened, it's to be validated. Their solution needs to be validated. I have a good example. Let's say as a manager, from my experience, as a tech lead, as Mario said, yes, you need to make a decision based on time, how much time we have, yes, when do we need to deliver, how much resources, and then you end up making a choice to develop the software not in the best way and with all the code review and everything and the frameworks and all the depth that we want as a technical person. And then you end up with people that they see and they are right about it. Yes, they do want the best for the project, and they don't get that we cannot do it that way because we have other constraints. Yes. So what they need is to be validated. Yes. What you say, it's valid. All the proposals are valid if we look at them. You need to validate it, not to say, yeah, I listen to you, but we are doing it this way, or but this is what was voted. That but definitely cuts the, yes. You need to go now, I'm saying also as a coach, you go a bit into the validation. Yeah, what you say, you listen to that person and you get the reality. It's valid for them. Their proposal is valid. It's just we are not doing that one, but it is valid. All the proposals are valid. So it's validating. And if to add or to build on what Christina said, if it keeps happening with the same person a few times, you need to have a separate conversation and to say, look, this happened a few times. It has an impact on me because I keep talking with you. Yes. So you need to have that conversation in which they don't accept other opinions. And how that doesn't work. Okay, am I clear? I'm looking at you and
No.
Yeah, okay, good.
All good. Thank you, Andrea. So let's see. It's I feel like it's an open conversation where there is no silver bullet. There is no solution. There is no miracle solution. It's just in a way to actually have some practices, and we put some practices in place. Like when you start a conversation with someone, look at how you look at that person. Is it like the annoying type? Is it like the bossy type? Whatever you have in your in your view. Let's put it like this, right? As I put it, I have boxes for people, right? So yeah, be present to what is the box that you put that person in, right? And just perhaps give up that box, right, for a second. Try to look at them in a different way, like, oh, this is a great project manager. It's not just the annoying project manager, right? The second is to actually, how we put it is like, what is that you want to obtain out of this? You want to have rights. You want to be to make it your way. You want to avoid the conflict, perhaps. So just be present to these aspects, right? This is one thing that we put it in practice, and I would say this is a great practice. And if you take something out of this, is perhaps this practices, right? And then the second is, once you are in a team where you decide something, right? Be present that you some people are incomplete with that, right? And have some conversation for them to be listened, to be validated, that right, whatever they said there is not wrong, or it's yeah, just listen to them, just listen, and without actually expressing. Andra put it likely, put it like very nicely, not put a but, all right, or something.
Yeah.
Immediately when you put
It
a but, it invalidates everything, right? So yeah, what else do you see, ladies? Am I missing something?
Something I want to add. It's learn to know yourself, and when you react, because sometimes we react because we are humans, and don't fight for something or do something coming from a reaction. Yes. Oh, that person always does that, so I will react. Yes. So first, take your time before you do something when you react, and also be aware that others react. When you listen and you validate, you can watch to see maybe the other person reacted has nothing to do with you. It's with them. So you just need to deal with the other person reactions. This is the interaction. Yeah. Either you react, either the other person reacts, either neither. So it's not to take it personally when the other person reacts. And I know it becomes like overwhelming, but I have so many stuff to do. I don't have the time to deal with this. As a manager or as a facilitator, this is part of it. So make time for contingency plan for stuff like that. Okay, this is what I wanted to add.
Thank you. Christina?
Yeah, on my end, I think I would stress the importance of being open to yourself, like state it when you see it. I mean, if you have a different opinion, just say it. And on the other hand, be open to listen and be open to evaluate the other person's opinion before thinking, yeah, okay, my opinion is very strong and I believe in it, so I don't need to listen to something else because this is it. So being open and let yourself see the other part of the picture or part of the problem. I think it just gives space for finding maybe a third option, which usually proves to be the chosen one. So yeah, and again, if I look at the end of the conversation, mainly the idea would be to find a common ground, and if we don't find the common ground, we can still be friends, we can still talk, we don't need to hate each other. And maybe, I don't know, either meet another time because we need more information, or we need to ask for somebody else's opinion, you know? Maybe we are just stuck and there is something we don't see, and we need to find information outside of our reach. Yeah.
Got it. Thank you, Christina. With that being said, tell us at home, how are you doing? How do you agree to disagree, right? How do you do it with other people, with your teams? So let us know in the comments, right? So yeah, I hope we gave you some insights in how to deal with these situations. And yeah, I think it's still an open topic that we can discuss for hours and hours. And yeah, it's very interesting. And also, what I want to say is perhaps also we can attack this topic of how do you react. This is something very interesting. How do you manage your reactions, right? How do you manage the reactions of others? Because we came up at the end with this topic. So yeah, but until then, remember some of the practices that we explored this episode, and tell us more how you do it. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel to be up to date with what we are doing, right? Until next time, have a great week. Thank you, ladies. Have a great week.